during the summer, you can visit the tourist office. And actually, a lot of exchange students do that. Oh. We definitely see a peak in our customer flow in August, like late August, when the international students are arriving. And they're actually the best customers. They are so happy. They are so excited. They're like, yeah, I'm going to be here for half a year or a year and I want to experience everything. And what can I do? And those are, I really enjoy those encounters a lot.
Tervetuloa. Welcome back to the JYU For You podcast. My name is Irfan and I'm your host with the most glasses. Today we're joined by Rinna Valjakka, a travel advisor from Visit Jyväskylä Region, who tells us her story of how she came to Jyväskylä to study at JAMK, what was it like to pursue tourism studies at JAMK, and what was it like to be an entrepreneur in the city of Jyväskylä after she completed her studies. We then go into our main story today and we look at what is it like to actually travel to central Finland. How do you actually get to the Jyväskylä region? What can you actually do here? How family-friendly is this place? Why is this the sauna region of the world? Why is Alvar Aalto such an important guy for this region? What are all the cool things that you can do very cheaply in the city? What are all the super cool museums in the city? How good is the transport and the connection between these different regions? And how many trees are there to hug in the city? All of that and more in today's episode. I hope you will enjoy. Cheers. What did you tell me when you lived... So when you first moved to Jyväskylä, where did you live?
When I first moved here, I lived close to the old, central hospital.
Oh, the one that they're demolishing right now, right?
I'm not actually sure if they're demolishing it.
I know they're demolishing one of those.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm completely mixing up my information. Was there also no, this is a health center that they demolished in Kuokala.
Yeah, that was
a little while back, actually. I think. Where the hell that information came into my brain is a question in its own right. But, so Rinna, what actually brought you to this lovely part of Finland, so centrally located?
Yeah, very centrally located. Studying, actually. We were moving here because we were applying to JAMK, and I was actually applying to the university as well back then to study English, but I ended up in JAMK.
Okay. Wait, now I'm actually... So two things. What did you say? Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from a smaller town called Heinola, which is near Lahti.
Which one of the Lahtis? The main Lahti, or because I know there are 7 places called Lahti.
The main.
the one closest to Helsinki, I guess.
Yeah, if you're driving from Jyväskylä to Helsinki, you will first get to Heinola and then 30 minutes to Lahti.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And why, in general, why Jyväskylä as a study place out of all the many study cities in the country?
Well, it was clear to me that I didn't want to go to Helsinki. I did apply to study in Tampere as well, but we ended up here in Jyväskylä because we got accepted.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I thought Jyväskylä is the good size city for me. I think for me, Helsinki is way too big. Tampere is maybe a little bit too big, but we like the size of this city, and we've liked living here.
Yeah, see, I totally agree with you on Helsinki just feeling way too big.
Mm-hmm.
I went there. I mean, I'm slightly ashamed to say this. I've been there only once properly, and would all love to Helsinki. Somehow it just gives me the vibe of an overgrown American college campus, and I'm some of the stuff is absolutely adorable, but I'm then not 100% sure I could live here. Tampere, I gotta say, it's kind of refreshing in a way. It has the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Could also just me being a simple man. I'm oh, this has a tram system. I'm a fan of this. Yeah. But hey, Jyväskylä is one day gonna have a subway system or a metro.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in 50, 60 years when.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. When both of us are looking through the hospital window and being oh, back in my day, we just had the buses.
Yeah.
You guys get a metro. But okay, so originally you thought about. So do you remember what was the original kind of wish for you to go to JYU and study English, or was what was the first option? Was it JAMK or JYU?
To be honest, I don't actually remember. I don't think there was a clear path I had wanted to be something since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to be when I grew up, So it was just something that interested me. It was studying English and also tourism
Okay.
working in the tourism field.
And out of curiosity, did you go to Lukio or?
Yeah, I did go to Lukio in Heinola.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking because like it kind of like most of the time I feel like the trajectory is you go to Lukio and then straight from Lukio to Yliopisto and then you either somehow magically find a job and go into the workforce or you do like 7 specializations, a PhD, yada yada yada, whatever. So it's very like uncommon for me to hear like, goes from Lukio to ammattikorkeakoulu or even like, from Lukio to like Gradio or something like that. I kind of like those like little stories. I feel like it makes you like a very rounded up person, in my opinion. Because I guess when you go to Lukio, you get this like very kind of like general hardcore overview of everything and those horrid bad exams at the end.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, I remember.
Yes.
There's but then after that, you have kind of like this, when you go to like University of Applied Sciences, I feel like it gives you like this additional kind of like, I can go from this like very general hardcore thing to like, okay, let's go something like very specific.
Yeah.
So when did you start your studies at JAMK?
2012 or 13. I think it was 12, like autumn 2012.
I was about to say, that's like 5 years ago, and then I realized, wait.
Yeah, that is a long time ago.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Time passes by way too quickly. So what do you remember kind of like from those first months or something? Do you remember? And it's been a decade plus.
Yeah, I don't have Alzheimer's yet. But yeah, I do remember something. I remember being very confused about everything. And I think I shared that with my classmates. But yeah, it maybe in the second or third year, it kind of all started coming together for me, like why we were studying certain things. In the first year, I was a little bit confused at points when we were studying the things that we were studying. I wasn't sure like why are we doing this and what is the use of this in like when I go to work somewhere. Yeah, but it really came together for me by the third year. Like, okay, this is why we're doing this and this is how this is going to actually help me in the work life.
Do you have an example of like one of those things where you were like, why the hell are we studying this, and then it clicked later on?
No, I don't think so. I can't come up with an example like from the top of my head. Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking, I just thought to myself, like, if somebody asked me, like, off the top of my head, hey, what was something beneficial from your studies from, like, 4 years ago? Or especially 10 years ago, I'd be like, the fact that I can speak, I guess. Maybe there's that practice. And when you did it, was it, like, was the program in English, Finnish, or
it was in Finnish back then. We did have several courses that were taught in English, which most of the exchange students took part in as well, but the program itself was in Finnish.
Okay, but you said back then, so has that changed?
Yeah. Currently, the program, like the tourism program, is completely in English. Yeah.
Really, like fully?
Yeah, fully.
Oh, that's actually kind of really cool because I guess now it preps both the actual local students, so like the Finnish students coming in. It's like you're probably going to be doing a good chunk of your interaction in English anyway. Yeah. And it also like it gives a pretty decent product to international students as well.
Yeah.
And this is the point that with JYU is like, you remember you study here, right? Who are you advertising? But no, that's actually really cool. Actually, when I think about it, I met a couple of the tourism students last year who were student ambassadors of the city, and they came from JAMK, and they had like really nice experiences. So what kind of like what was your trajectory after you finished your studies? Did you go straight to kind of like the workforce? You said like, at least like before you started your studies, you didn't really have this like vision and dream of like, oh, this is what I'm going to be one day when I grow up, dreaming when you were 4, this is exactly what I'm going to be doing in 2025. But after you finished your studies, was it kind of like a little bit more of a crystallized picture? What was the trajectory?
Yeah. Well, kind of my path was forged when I was still in JAMK because in the third year we had a course where we had to make a business plan, like a hypothetical business plan. That was the whole point of the course. And we were grouped with people who were looking to do like similar business plan ideas. And this is where I met my current friend, Minna. Minna and Rinna. That was also fun. But yeah, we did a business plan for a hostel because we were both interested in that. We had both done internships abroad in hostels during our studies, and we made the business plan, and we really clicked. There were two other people in the group, but me and Minna, we really clicked, and we liked the idea that we were creating. So we kind of used the last of our studies to kind of further the plan. We used a lot of JAMK resources that were available for us when we were doing the planning, especially the numbers and budgets and everything, which was not easy to say. But yeah, after we graduated, we started our company directly from school. It ended up being a hostel cafe called Local Culture Hostel and Cafe.
Oh, you guys really missed the opportunity to just call it Minna ja Elina O or something.
Yeah, definitely. We should have thought of that. But yeah, we formed the company. It was located actually here on Seminaarinmäki in the old Rehtoraatti, the rectoral building.
Oh, wait, is that right next to the grilli?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, in that, some people in the university area might remember that. We had a lot of people, surprisingly, from the university using the cafe specifically. But yeah, we were running the company for 4 years, and we filed for bankruptcy right before the COVID hit in 2020, which in hindsight was a good thing, probably.
Yeah, but probably a lot better than like bleeding money for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's honestly like really cool that you guys like immediately after the studies, let's go the entrepreneur route.
Yeah.
Was it difficult to be an entrepreneur in this city?
Yes and no. Like generally being an entrepreneur, I don't think that was difficult. But the building that we were operating in is first of all protected by the museum bureau or something, not sure what the translation is in English. But yeah, the building was protected, so there were lots of rules like what we could do to the building or in the building and what we could not do. That gave us lots of challenges regarding like renovations, because we had a hostel, so there needed to be certain things thought out for safety reasons, for example. So there was a lot of things to kind of figure out, and with that I had hoped we would have gotten more help from the city, for example, with planning that. They basically just usually told us like we came up with a plan and they told us if that's okay or if it's not, and then if it wasn't, then we had to come up with another plan.
Oh, so kind of like basically you guys had to waste a lot of time like iterating the plans.
Yeah. Actually took us almost a year to open the place after we formed the company. Yeah, it was a lot of time and it was very stressful, but once we opened, it was,
kind of smooth sailing,
fun.
I guess.
Yeah.
Was it difficult to just like register your own company or?
No, that is super easy.
In general, in the city, or?
In general, it's just basically an online form.
Wow.
That you do.
How long did it take? Sorry,
I don't know, like 30 minutes.
Wow. Honestly, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, if I don't remember correctly and I'm lying, then I'm sorry, but I think it was very easy.
I mean, I can kind of like imagine, considering like how like digitally connected everything in Finland is. I would kind of imagine like, there's like this online form, do some of that strong banking credentials, fill it out, and GG. But okay, so like being an entrepreneur and fortunately getting out of the business before the business completely collapsed during this lovely time of the pandemic. So what was kind of like the next step?
The next step was finding a job, because we did end up with a little bit of debt from that endeavor. Not too much. It is actually paid now.
Oh, hey,
yeah.
Congrats.
Woo-hoo.
Congrats.
So the main goal was to find a job, and I actually found a job working for an American company completely remotely from my home. It was a company called Cloud Beds, which is like a hotel management system, software as a service.
Oh, okay.
I was an onboarding coach there for a year.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
And then when do you get to Visit Jyväskylä?
After that.
So straight after that.
I was working there for 1 year, and I wasn't actively looking for another job. I enjoyed that job. But then I noticed the advert for my position, a travel advisor at Visit Jyväskylä Region, and I was like, I have to apply for that. That's so cool. I did apply, and I got the job, and now I'm here almost 4 years later.
Okay. So can you first just like tell me, do you know a little bit about the history of Visit Jyväskylä? Like, how long has that been around?
Well, Visit Jyväskylä Region has been around since 2020 or 2021. I mean, as a DMO, a destination management organization, where we do marketing and sales promotion for a larger area than just Jyväskylä.
Oh, okay.
There's 13 municipalities in central Finland that are in cooperation with us. So that's when Visit Jyväskylä Region started. But Visit Jyväskylä and like generally the tourism marketing has been going on for a long year. Our marketing director has been working in our team for I think like 10 years or something or over. I might be lying. But like a long time.
Well, congrats to them.
Yeah.
Especially like if you can stay in a position like this for a certain period of time, it's kind of cool to like see, like the entire endeavor grow. So what is kind of like the main offering that you guys have? Like what is basically, how does your typical day look like?
Are we talking about my typical day or what our team does? Because our team has 10 or 11 people and we all have different jobs that we do.
Let's do both. Tell me a little bit about the team and what's kind of like your guys' goal. And then like what do you personally do?
Yeah, okay. So the team, like I said, we're 11 or 12 people, I think, currently now because we have a project going on. Our like main things that we do are marketing, domestic and international tourism marketing, and sales promotion. We don't do actual sales, which some DMOs might do, but because we're a department under the city of Jyväskylä, we are not looking to make like a profit. We're not a company, so we don't do sales, but sales promotion. And that's like the main thing that we do. Marketing, we try to attract people to come to the area to travel. But what I myself do, I'm a travel advisor, so I work at the tourist office and help actual travelers who have either already come to the area and are visiting the tourist office looking for trip tips or ideas on what they could do here, or somebody who is still planning their trip to the area, so help them plan everything.
Okay, and most of that stuff, like, do you do it like phone, in person, digital, online? What's kind of like the main medium?
In person is the main, and the second most popular is the chat that is available on our website.
Okay, and like for the in person stuff, like where are you guys most of the time? Where's the location?
We're located in the shopping center Forum in the city center of Jyväskylä. We are there, like physically there for half a year, from beginning of May until the end of September, which is the most like the on season when we have most tourists in the area. And then during the winter season, that works as a self-service tourist office, so anybody can still walk in. There are guest computers or customer computers that they can use to search for information. They can get the brochures, maps, and everything. And they can reach us in the digital channels, so the chat, and then we have email and phone.
Oh, no. So like basically every possible channel for like any generation, for the 80-year-old grandpa to the 80-year-old skibbity, whatever is the hip thing to say nowadays.
Yeah, basically.
Speaking actually about the marketing materials, I gotta say, these are gorgeous.
Yeah,
I love them.
I agree.
And like something that I appreciate is like, it's bilingual. You got an English version and you got a Finnish version, and
we also have a German version.
Oh, there's a German version. See, I don't have the German version. We got the English one and we got the Finnish one. And you guys designed these like completely. Is it like within your guys' office or?
Yeah. Our marketing director and marketing planner are responsible for this beautiful brochure.
We're hoping that we're going to be able to like add like at least a link to them in the program notes. But at the very least, like, if somebody visits your guys' office, or if they even visit like any random place in like the city, bunch of them have like these little brochures. And just so beyond your work kind of like directly involved with travelers and whatever, I know you also mentioned you did a little bit of an interesting thing, or I don't know, was it you personally or like your guys' team, this InnoFlash at Gradia. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So InnoFlash is actually it's made by JAMK.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so JAMK students go through that, but also for the last, I think they said 4 years, Gradia, like high school students, Lukio students, have InnoFlash as well. So this year we gave them assignment for the week. It was social media related because we thought they would be interested in that, actually have fun with that, and we could actually get something out of that because the idea is that companies bring a problem or a project for the students, and they have several groups that work on the project, and then we get the results as the company or who gave the assignment. But yeah, that was actually very fun, and the students came up with great ideas for us. So that was very, very good.
I love that entire concept of like I'm a really big believer in. That might be a little bit controversial. I think at some point, like the point of education should just be like, let's work with like as many local companies or international ones as we can, and like see what are their needs, infuse that as much as possible into the education system, and then there's like constantly this relationship. And I think that's gonna be like you guys just like gave all of those kids something super useful. They actually have like a concrete deliverable that like when they're applying for summer jobs, it makes it a lot easier. And like maybe down the line, maybe one of those kids is gonna do such like an amazing project that you'll be like, kiddo, come here. We might have an internship for you.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good thing. I agree that schools use actual companies and actual assignments because it's different when you're doing something real compared to just a task given by a teacher.
Yeah, like it makes you feel a little bit like too far removed when it's like, oh, here's this random thing that you may or may not use in your life. And kind of also like what you mentioned, like it took you maybe to like the second or third year to kind of see like, oh, what is the purpose of this within the actual field? And then when you have like this, oh, these are the actual like, people, it gives you also like that good relationship, I think, like between everybody. So getting into the actual region, let's go with one like very concrete thing. How do you get to this region? Actually, what's your preferred way of travel to Jyväskylä? What would you say?
So if I'm traveling, my preferred is train, easiest and fastest. But yeah, you can also get here by bus, or you can even fly. There are flights from Helsinki to the Jyväskylä airport. However, currently, if you fly to the Jyväskylä airport, you basically need to get a taxi or have somebody pick you up from the airport because there isn't public transport. But we currently have a project going on where we aim to make those connections better, like easier reachability from abroad and inside the region. Like it's easier to move with sustainable methods, so basically public transport.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to get a public transport connection from the airport.
But this is going to be such a dumb question. How close is it to the Air Force Base?
It's very close, like right next to it.
Okay. Because I'm like, wait, isn't there that one bus that actually goes to the Air Force Base? Or no, it goes to the Air Force Museum, I guess.
Yeah, the closest bus to the airport is like, if I remember correctly, like 1.5 or 2 kilometers walk from the airport to the bigger road where one of the local buses goes. But that's not really an ideal situation if you have a lot of luggage, for example, or it's winter or something.
Yeah, maybe if you're like one of those people who like randomly came to visit with like a backpack or whatever, I was like, I'll take like this, scenic stroll of 2 kilometers, get on the bus. Maybe in the meantime also visit the little museum or whatever. But yeah, hell, when I think about like how many pieces of luggage I had when I came here, the last thing that I would have wanted was to land in a tiny little airport and then like carry all of that stuff. But that's why I still think the train is superior. I love to take a koski, both the airport and the Air Force Base and the museum. But like, man, train is definitely the superior thing. Hey, actually, speaking of like the Air Force Base and the museum, do you have like a personal favorite museum in the region? Because I know we have like a bunch of them.
Yeah, we have a bunch of them, and that's the tough one because I like many of them. The kind of the main or the most talked about museum at the moment is Aalto 2 Museum Center. That has Alvar Aalto Museum, the famous architects, and we're the capital city of Alvar Aalto, so that's kind of an important one. However, it's not my favorite one. In the museum center, there's also the Museum of Central Finland, so that's the history of the area. That is one of my favorites because I'm a history nerd. But then there is also the Crafts Museum of Finland, which is also one of a kind in Finland. It's like the national costume history museum. That might be my favorite because I'm a crafts person, definitely.
Wait, where's the Crafts Museum?
It's right in the city center next to the church park.
That's the... Yeah, when you're walking down to Compass from here, it's on the left, right? At some point, I think.
It's right next. Do you know where the art museum is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right next to on the other side of the Kilpisenkatu.
Okay.
Street, yeah.
So convenient thing, go to the art museum for a little bit, then the crafts museum.
Yeah.
I will agree with you on the whole Aalto Kax thing. I think we're legally obligated if we live in the city. We gotta love Alvar Aalto. I think there's DVV makes you sign it somewhere. Like you must love Alvar Aalto to live in the city. Actually, why are we the capital of Alvar Aalto again? Do we have the most buildings or something?
Yeah, we have most buildings designed by Alvar Aalto. It's 29 or 30. Unfortunately, I always mix up these two numbers, but it is the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, MIT could only dream. They only got one building, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree with you on the whole. It's really cool. I visited it once. Yeah, once. The whole museum side about Alvar Aalto and his wife and the entire design bureau and whatever, pretty cool. I will agree with you. The whole Museum of Central Finland that is included there, I found it a little bit cooler. My personal favorite was, I think is it on the third or the fourth floor? There's an entire section that's kind of 80s, 90s.
Yeah, that's the second floor.
With the gaming consoles and whatever. And that one really famous Finnish skier, I can't remember the name. I know he got a medal in the 84 Olympics.
You mean the ski jumper?
Ski jumper,
yeah,
yes.
Matti Nykänen.
Yeah, him. I think he has a little section there. Yeah. And nowadays I think they also have a guided tour that's in English. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I saw that.
At the museum?
Yeah.
I think they would have English guided tours, and the information in the screens, etc., is in English as well.
I remember there was this one really cute kind of exhibit. I think it's kind of an old-fashioned Finnish hut. Not hut, I guess, house. Not hut.
Yeah. Well, we can call it a hut.
No, but when I hear a hut, I just imagine this tiny little construct made out of wood of that type of structure. Yeah. But no, old school house, I guess, from the 19th century or something. And then it's kind of you can hear examples of voices and things that people might have been saying, back in the day on that table. So I kind of I love that type of a little approach. Do you know what's kind of in the tourist office? Is there a particular museum that customers tell you oh my God, thank you for this recommendation, this was really cool to visit? Or do you feel to each their own type thing?
Yeah, it depends on the person, and unfortunately we don't get those sorts of communications too often. When people come visit us, they usually get the tips, they go about their trip, they rarely come back to tell us what they thought about. Of course, occasionally, especially if somebody's staying for a longer time, they might come back again. But yeah, generally they don't. But it depends. Usually if we do get some feedback, people have liked the Aalto 2 Museum Center, or if somebody is a crafts person, they love the craft museum.
And I bet you're very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if you recommend it. But the museums are open basically the entire year, right?
Yeah, they're open throughout the year. They're closed on Mondays. Monday is a tough day here in the city because many places are closed on Mondays.
Yeah, I think half the restaurants are also closed on Mondays.
Yeah.
Why Mondays? Is it just everybody's too depressed or too hungover after
I don't know. I guess it's just there has to be a day when, for example, the museums are closed because of the staff need a day off occasionally. And usually I would think that it's better to be open during the weekend because, and especially during the winter season, you would have more visitors during the weekend because people have that off.
Yeah, good point. And also probably during the winters, it's Yeah. Actually, speaking of the winters, I feel like the one thing that like is glorious during the winters is you're freezing outside and then you go into a sauna inside. And aren't we like what is the title that we have given ourselves? Sauna capital of
Sauna region.
Sauna region.
Yeah, sauna region of the world.
Of the world.
Yeah, of
Okay.
the world.
I mean I love it just like the titles that we have, the city of Alvar, Aalto, the Athens of Finland, sports capital of Finland, and now we're the sauna region of the world. So what's the best like first sauna experience that somebody could have in the city?
Well, of course, that depends on, for example, what sort of transportation options you have available. If you have a car and you can go a little bit further, there are some amazing like smoke saunas, like very traditional Finnish smoke saunas that are definitely an experience, especially for somebody who is traveling abroad, from abroad to Finland, but of course for locals as well. I, for example, enjoy those a lot. But if you need like a very easy access sauna experience, Sataman Viilu in the sauna restaurant in the harbor is the easiest access and a very nice option because they have 3 saunas. They have a terrace with the jacuzzis and then there's a lake pool, so you can take a swim any time of the year. Even during the winter, you can do the ice dipping.
Yeah, no, and it's pretty affordable. I think it's like I think I checked at some point it's like 15-20 euros or something per person.
Yeah, it's around 20 euros. I think it's not too expensive. I think considering what you can get for that.
Yeah. I mean, like Jesus, it's a sauna, it's a jacuzzi, and it's a swim.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello. And then after that, you can go on the little terrace, grab a little coffee, maybe look at people like walking their dogs. You get a little bit of joy out of that. Maybe also jump on one of the ships afterwards. I feel like it's that entire section of the city is just. I have no idea who designed it. Maybe it was Alvar Aalto. Actually, no, they have a ship there now.
They
right?
have Alvar Aalto's boat. Nemo Propheta in Patria is the name. So nobody is a prophet in their own land or country is the name. But yeah, it is right next to the sauna restaurant building. It is in a glass display that you can see. Yeah.
And who gets to take that out? Like, is that something that like you guys from the office are like, at night, Juhannus, nobody's around, everybody's had way too much, even the cops are not around. It's like, okay, let's go on the lake.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty protected and expensive boat, maybe.
Yeah, because
it is the only boat designed by Alvar Aalto, and I hear it's not in its function as a boat. It's apparently not the best.
Oh,
but it does work.
I guess there is a reason why he designed buildings.
Yeah, I would think so. He's very good at that. Apparently not so good with boats, but yeah, it's a very pretty boat. I think it looks very beautiful.
No, honestly, it's kind of adorable. I used to walk around that region like very, very, very often, and I always took a second to kind of just like enjoy the boat. It was like it's adorable. Or ship, boat. I never know what's the boat, I guess.
Yeah, boat, I'd say. It's not very big.
Yeah, it's like 5 meters across maybe. But anywho, so like beyond Sataman Viilu, is there something else kind of like more essential within the city?
For a sauna experience? Yeah. Within the city, I would say that is the most central option. Of course, if you're staying in a hotel, most hotels have some sort of a sauna option. And then there is, of course, Aalto Alvari, the swimming hall, part of which is designed by Alvar Aalto, actually, as you can probably guess by the name. But yeah, that swimming hall has several saunas.
They also have don't they now have like a smoke sauna? That's like been...
It's not a smoke sauna, it is a wood-heated sauna. Yeah, so a more traditional one than an electric sauna. And that wood-heated sauna is actually designed by Aalto.
Ah.
Yeah, they have... it's not... I don't think it is heated every day.
Yeah, I think they like double-check it based on like the outside weather conditions.
Yeah.
Because it has to have like a very particular ventilation system. So you don't, because I think I read this on earlier, like in the past, the problem was that the ventilation wasn't that great for that wooden sauna, or I guess wood-heated sauna. So then they would have to like, every now and then there was an evacuation of the swimming hall. It's like, maybe not the most practical thing, just be like, hey, we're burning down the building.
Yeah. Yeah, but the swimming hall was renovated and now they got that working, at least partly, the wood heated sauna.
90% there.
Yeah.
90% there. I'm still waiting. Like I was there a little bit before they like finished the whole renovation, and when they opened up that sauna, and I'm like, I will let you guys play around with this for like 2-3 months because I don't want to get like 7 a.m. like, hey, get out of here, get out of the pool.
Yeah.
But so let's say you only have like access to public transportation. Well, is there kind of like a little sauna resort or something within the region?
Yeah, there are a couple of places you could go with public transport. In Laukaa, a municipality close to Jyväskylä, there is a spa hotel called Peurunka, which has like a proper spa with slides and everything. It's very fun, especially if you're with kids, traveling with kids. But yeah, they have several saunas, and they actually just opened a sauna called Sarakallio sauna. Sarakallio is a prehistoric rock painting area in Laukaa. It's actually the largest rock painting area in Fennoscandia, I think. But yeah, themed by that. So in the sauna, there is one wall is made of like rock style thing, and there are the paintings that you have in the Sarakallio rocks on the wall. I think it's very cool.
Have you had the chance to check it out, or is this...
Yeah.
Oh, damn, nice. How big is the space?
The sauna itself, it's not huge. I think it's like 6 or 8 people. But there are several... Or do you mean the rock paintings themselves?
Yeah, like the...
Yeah, I haven't been to them yet. The thing is that it has been a bit challenging to get to the paintings because they are on a cliff by a lake.
Oh.
So basically you can only get there by boat or canoeing or kayaking or something like that. But there has not been like a dock or anything. You would just have to like canoe right next to the cliffs to try to see the rock paintings. But they actually got, I don't remember if it was last summer or if it's this summer, they have a dock there. So now it's easier. You can dock with a canoe or small boat to the dock and walk to see the paintings.
Oh, cool. Okay, so putting it on the list. And just one silly question that I'm assuming like you guys probably every now and then get about Finnish sauna culture. What is the quote-unquote norm in a way? Because I've traveled like enough in my life, and when I'm abroad, there's always one of my funniest experiences abroad was when I was in Montenegro. I was in a hotel, and they tell me like, "Oh, we have traditional Finnish sauna." And I'm like, okay, so you have traditional Finnish sauna, do we go there as the Finns do? Meaning, as God has created us. And they're like, what are you talking about? Why would you go naked to the sauna? I'm like, okay, so it's not a traditional Finnish sauna. And then you continue the conversation. I'm like, so, when you heat it, and then we're chatting and they tell me like, there's this one problem we have. And I'm like, what's the problem with the sauna? Well, the visitors, they seem to be very foolish. They put water on those stones. I'm like, oh, so somebody's putting water on the stones in a Finnish sauna, and that's causing you problems. Like, yes, you should never put water on stones. It's a stove. Why would you ever put water? So, sauna region of the world. How do you go to a proper Finnish sauna? What's the etiquette?
Well, first of all, that sounds very familiar to me because I've also been to saunas abroad, and whenever there is a Finnish traditional sauna, it's never really a traditional Finnish sauna. For several reasons. But it's tough to say like what is a traditional Finnish sauna. Because there's differences. So for example, in the temperature, some people prefer 60 degrees Celsius, but the hottest you could go, it's like 100, 110 degrees, especially if it's a wood-heated sauna. 100 degrees doesn't feel that much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But for an electric heated sauna, I would say like...
80, 85?
Yeah, somewhere around that. But it's not set in stone what the temperature needs to be. And for example, for a smoke sauna, it is usually lower because the heat is different.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be just 60 degrees, but it still feels very warm. Regarding the clothing in the sauna, it depends. If you are with same-sex people, if it's just men or women, often without any clothes, without any bathing suits, completely naked. But if it's a mixed sauna, usually with a bathing suit or a towel wrapped around. But this could also differ, like some families go to sauna naked together, some friend groups, even mixed, can go to the sauna together. For example, I myself do that with my friends, regardless of gender. It's normal for us. So it's just what everybody is comfortable with. It doesn't need to be like, oh, you have to be naked or you're not doing a proper Finnish sauna.
Yeah.
But you can throw water on the stove.
Oh, yeah.
You should be able to. Yeah, I've noticed that often abroad, people don't want to throw. It feels like, especially if it's an electric sauna, they're like, it's electric, you can throw water on it. But that's like, they are designed in a way where you can throw the water, and that's part of the experience, like the steam that you get from throwing the water on the stones. So it's like a pretty crazy idea to me that you couldn't throw water. But of course, again, you can be considerate, especially if you're with other people, and especially if you're with international people who might be experiencing sauna for the very first time. It's very polite to ask, like, is everybody okay with me throwing some löyly?
Yeah.
The steam, because it can be an intense experience for somebody experiencing it for the first time.
Yeah, and some people, I gotta say, like some people tend to like overdo it a little bit at times. I feel like I have a pretty decent heat resistance capability. Like when you said like 60 degrees, I'm like, Jesus, that's freezing. It needs to be a little bit higher. But even I'm like I think I do it like on average about once a week. But every now and then, if it's a public one, there's always gonna be. I feel like somebody who's trying with the heat to remove the pain of their life, and it's just like, every 10 seconds, like
yeah.
I'm like, therapy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt. You don't need to fry all of us.
Yeah, but some definitely like that, like throwing a lot of löyly. That's also why there are usually several levels in a sauna. So if it's too much for you on the highest level, then you can go lower and risk being mocked, of course, but but yeah, you can go lower and you can leave the sauna. And the best thing is if you're doing a sauna by a lake, regardless if it's winter or summer, taking a dip in the lake.
It's glorious.
Between the sauna sessions, and remembering to stay hydrated, to drink something, be it water or beer.
Like 7 long cases.
Exactly. Yeah. And the funniest things I've encountered, like questions related to sauna, is like, can children go to the sauna? Can elderly go to the sauna? That's of course a relevant question if you're not familiar with the traditions and how everything works. But yes, children and elderly can go to sauna. Actually, like Finnish kids used to be born in saunas, like back in the day. They were not like super heated saunas, but that was usually the cleanest place too.
Actually, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, but yeah, Finnish kids do go to sauna from a very small age, young age. Yeah.
And I mean, hell, even like pets join in.
Yeah.
Like as far as I understand, like cats love it.
Yeah.
Dogs are just gonna kind of like chill on the floor because dog do it as dog does.
Yeah.
I do gotta say, like, one thing maybe just like related to Aalto, Alvar. I remember one of my like slight culture shocks in a way was when I enter, because it's divided, one side is like men, the other side is women, and you get into the male changing room and everybody's just like immediately butt naked, and I'm like, wow, well, this quick. And I think like in the concept in Finland, I kind of like that. That's happiest country in the world, yada yada yada. We can debate that for the next like 27 years, what the hell happiness means, and like get philosophical on it. But I think there is that sense of like separating the it's just comfort, the way you are. It's practical, and it's. I think some people, at least it's kind of like my experience. Foreigner talking about other foreigners. How well can I talk about this? It's like. The separation between like, oh, this isn't anything like sexual or whatever. It's just like like it's comfortable. It's the way you are. But it's cool to know that, like, first of all, I think this is lovely for everybody to just hear, especially like, we have like new students coming in and like probably people coming to like visit the region over the summer. It's kind of like cool to give them like a little bit of like, hey, this is kind of like the rough rundown in the sauna region of the world. I'm still getting used to that. Do we have like that? Is that like patented? Is it like copyrighted? Is it like, where do you register? I have so many questions. Like,
No, I don't think it's registered. This was done before I came to work at Visit Jyväskylä Region, so I'm not unfortunately familiar with the specific details. But it's like self-proclaimed sauna region of the world.
Okay. So it's kind of like if I said that I'm the president of the Soviet Union. It's like,
well.
More valid. More. This is.
Yeah. We maybe have more reasoning behind
it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I have a red T-shirt. Isn't that enough? Hey, so speaking about like summer events and events in general, like what are some like big events that happen in Jyväskylä? Or the region in general?
Yeah. So the biggest is definitely the Sector Rally Finland, which is part of the World Rally Series. It's driven in at the end of July, beginning of August. That's definitely the biggest event, and you can see it all around the region. But other bigger events during the summer, there's the Jyväskylä Summer Festival, which is, I think, a week or a little bit over a week in length. Lots of different things happening. There's theater, music, workshops, anything art or culture related, basically. That's actually also the longest arranged city festival, a continuously arranged city festival in the Nordics, if I remember correct. Yeah.
Oh, cool. How long have we had that?
I think it's like over 70 years, I think.
Wow.
You're asking all the numbers of years and everything. I hope I'm not like remembering incorrect, but it has been a long time. Of course, it has grown during that time. But yeah, that's a very fun festival. And most of the program is usually free. So it's also like easy to enjoy, not going to cost you a lot.
Yeah, that's always kind of nice because it's mostly just about like, hey guys, you know, we suffered through the winter all together. Let's have some fun during the summer.
Yeah.
Is that also like is this the same thing where they have like that little like music festival in
Puistojuhlat.
No, different.
Which is the music festival in
I know, like
Suomi Pop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever. What was the thing where Kärja played last year? I can't remember. Was that Suomi Pop?
I don't remember.
Or was it just like a random concert that he had here? I'm not, because I know they're always like, you know, in Lutako there are like some free days where it's just like the biggest acts of that year, and every year there's also Popeda, I think, or like some other like 70s 80s band. I'm still waiting for Dingo to play, but maybe this year, I don't know. Now that they had the movie come out, and now they're gonna play there. Do you know if that's like do you know which one I'm talking about? Is that like a particular music festival, or is it just like
which artist were you talking about?
So last year they had like 3 days. It was Kärja was one of them who was playing, the Eurovision guy.
Yeah.
Popeda was playing last year, and somebody else. I think it was in July.
It could be Suomi Pop.
Could be Suomi Pop.
Yeah, because it is in July.
Do you know do you have any idea like who's playing? Who's gonna be playing for Suomi Pop this year?
I don't remember. But it's easy to check online.
Yeah. Plot twist: it's Elka Wikman.
Oh, is it?
I have no clue. Would be funny if she is.
I'd be pretty surprised if not.
Yeah, fair. You know,
Yeah.
after the whole Eurovision.
Yeah.
Plot twist, maybe she's gonna win. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. We'll see soon.
Oh yeah. Because like, when is Eurovision? It's like May.
Early May.
Yeah, early May 11th.
It's something like that. Yeah.
No clue. But anyway, okay. So like music, different happenings. That's kind of like over the summer. What do we have after the summer?
Well, after the summer, in the fall, we have the City of Light Festival. Not sure how long it's going to be this year. It has varied a little bit from around 3 days to maybe even 7 to 8 days. But yeah, it's a light festival around the city. Mostly bigger light installations are made for this festival. But there's also like other side events like lamp flea market, for example, some workshops like UV painting workshops and stuff like that. And again, most of the program for that event is free.
Oh yeah. I mean, like if I remember correctly, and also like I think the buses are for free that day for like certain sections of it.
Usually, yes, the local buses are free in the evening, usually after 6 p.m.
Yep.
because it needs to be dark to actually enjoy the light installations. Yeah. That's not. I'm not 100% sure certain if that's going to be this year as well, but usually it has been free buses.
I mean, even if it's not free, like, the bus ticket is relatively affordable. If you get like an hour-long ticket on the app is like 2.7 euros or something like that, which is probably more than enough. Do you remember a particular light installation that was just kind of like stayed in your memory?
Yeah, well, usually the church in the church park is lit. That is usually pretty cool. Not last year, but the year before that, I think was a really cool one. And last year at the university in Ruusupuisto, there was this like huge light puppet thing people were moving to music. That was really cool.
I remember seeing like videos of that one last year. I didn't get to see it, but in 2023 I remember it was really cool. God, was it called? Now my brain is blocking, but I remember there was this like an entire little light exhibit, and there was also a speech by MLK included in it. It was a Toruyoki, I guess. That's Toruyoki. Yeah. It was really cool, but the entire kind of experience is absolutely amazing. It like has like this very particular flavor and vibe. Yeah. And also what I love about it is like it really makes you feel like it's a huge city because it's like everything is packed. Yeah. It's kind of cool. Like it gives you a feeling, because I think usually Jyväskylä has this feeling of like, I'm not going to say small town, but it has like, this chill place. You don't feel like it's a place of 150,000. Yeah. During the event, it's like, oh my God, what is this? Like, 500,000 to 1 million people, everybody's around, everything's full. And it's like, it has this like social butterfly vibe.
Yeah, everybody is out and there's lots of people coming to the area for the event as well. So it's a lot of people. It's fun.
Any other events that like kind of come to mind that are cool during the year? Not just in Jyväskylä, but like region in general.
Well, my personal favorite is the music festival in Lauka called John Smith Rock Festival. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a really good one. And they also have a winter version, John Smith Rock Frozen, in, before Christmas. Yeah, those are very good ones.
That one I actually didn't even know about, so that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my mistake of like being purely restricted to the city itself. But okay, and wait, that one's also been going on for a while. I think I feel like
for a long while, and the summer festival has been like voted or ranked one of the best festivals in Finland, like best arranged festivals. Oh, and it really is. It's very very good arrangements. Everything is very smooth and operates well.
Okay, so very kind of like useful type of a thing to have, like just it's nice to have a little bit of music. I don't know, like outdoor music is freaking amazing. Speaking actually like about the outdoors, so like maybe you come here for a little bit of party, maybe you come here for a little bit of like these different types of events, the museums or whatever, or maybe you just come here, reconnect with nature, touch grass. How much grass is there to touch in this region?
A lot. I think it was somewhere around like 80% of the land area is filled with forest. Not grass, but forest.
Not close enough.
Yeah. But a great place to experience nature and the silence and the calmness and everything.
All the berries.
Yeah, and all the berries.
Do we have any like national parks or something? Is there?
Yeah, we have 4 national parks in the area. There's the Leivonmäki National Park, that's in Joutsa, like 45-minute drive south from Jyväskylä. Then we have Southern Konnevesi National Park, that is towards the eastern border, like a 1-hour drive. And then we have Pyhähäkki National Park, which is fun to pronounce for a foreigner.
Not even gonna try.
That's north of Jyväskylä in Saarijärvi. Again, like a 1-hour drive. And then the furthest one is Salamajärvi National Park. That is also north. And that's like a 2.5-hour drive.
So you're mentioning a lot of driving over here. Let's say you don't have a car. Is there like any decent transport, anything?
During the summer, you can get to the national parks during the weekends with a bus service that's called Outdoor Express.
Oh, do you have any clue when like that bus service opens up?
The bus service starts in July, if I remember correct, and it goes until early September.
Oh, okay, so kind of like, prepping for Suomi Popderali when more people are showing up. It's like, hey, let's have you, hug a tree after all of the little adventures and whatever. But actually, we're talking a little bit like, there are a lot of like these adventurous type things that I feel like, if you're a young person or young at heart, I don't want to discriminate the 75-year-old that is like, going to party and singing to Erika Wikman.
Yeah.
All power to you, my friend. All power to you. Hell, I respect them more than the 25-year-old. Anyway, what if you come here with a family? Is there anything like pleasant to do as a family here?
Yeah, lots of things that you can do with a family or if you're traveling with kids. The museums are very popular with the families, which I found pretty surprising at some point because my memories from childhood was that museums were very boring. But the museums here, first of all of them have been renovated quite recently, and that has been taken into consideration. Like there is a lot of things that you can touch and do and try, and there are workshop spaces for kids and stuff like that. So usually the feedback we get from families is that the kids really liked this museum or that museum. So that was surprising for me as somebody who doesn't have kids, that they are actually popular. Then there is, for example, Mäkimatti, a family park here in the city center. That's very popular with the locals. So that's usually fun with families, especially because kids they play with anyone. Yeah, they don't really have like language barriers or something. The Harju observation tower is very fun. Kids usually like to go to the highest level, to the observation platform, where you get a 360 view over the city. That's usually exciting. And then the lowest level is the Natural History Museum, so they can learn about the local fauna and flora and see the actual stuffed animals that we have in the area. But then if you're ready to go a little bit further away, in Saarijärvi, there's this place called Activity Park Veijari, which is super fun. I've been there once myself. They have a petting zoo, lots of outdoor activities, fun things that smaller kids can do. It's not an amusement park, but it's more active, you do fun stuff there yourself, instead of sitting in a roller coaster or something.
Yeah, but that's kind of I think that's a bonus for the parents. The kids have something fun to do. They're tired out, and then the parents can also enjoy themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a win-win for everybody. I do love the entire view from the water tower up at Harju, and also underneath it there is that cute, adorable cafe.
Yeah,
and it's a lovely place to just relax, I guess. But would you also recommend this place for a solo traveler? You're let's envision the, I don't know, stereotypical college American kid who's okay, it's spring break, I need to experience something exotic, I can't hype up my friends to come to Finland, maybe I'm gonna come here alone to central Finland. Would that, spring break person have fun here?
I would think so, depending, of course, what they're looking for. But yeah, I would think so. I would recommend visiting the tower. That's, I think, fun for everyone. And it's a good thing that everything there is free, except for the cafe products, of course, but the museum and the observation platform are free. I think there's lots of fun activities. If you want to be a little bit crazier, you can do different activities, for example, the adventure park in Laajavuori.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which could be fun, or you can go canoeing or kayaking, or you can do river rafting or something more exciting like that if you're looking for that.
And there's also jet skiing, I guess? Or
yeah. Yeah, there are jet ski rentals in the harbor. And also during the summer, there's usually those I have no idea what the name of those are, but the kind of a hover board that you put on your feet over the water with the jet taking you high. I have no idea what the name of this is. I
know exactly what you're talking about. I have absolutely no clue what it is. Hopefully we can find the picture and we'll just put the picture around. But bunch of stuff to do. Opportunities to relax. Anything good to eat?
Yeah, definitely. Regarding local food, central Finland is a bit challenging because we're in the center of everything, and our university actually used to have the first Finnish language schools, like first schools that were taught in Finnish. So lots of people from around Finland came to this area, bringing their culture and their traditions here. So we're kind of a mix of everything. So we don't have something clear like this is specifically ours, but this is a very good place to experience like Finnish food culture in general, because we kind of have everything from everywhere.
And I feel like even with like, you know, the more regular stuff, the places that we do have, like people have like perfected their crafts at it.
Yeah.
Specifically, I'm thinking about the fact that we got, it's in our region, the best burger place of 2024.
Yeah, we do have. That's in Hankasalmi, the grill room, Hankasalmi, which has been voted the best burgers. Was it in 2 years in a row, or it was the second best the first year and then the best the second year, or something like this. They are really delicious.
It's been on my list. I think
maybe
I was thinking about last weekend, but it was, you know, Easter and whatever. I assumed they were closed, but like maybe actually I should do it this weekend. Why don't I do it this weekend? Excuses. Always an opportunity for a good burger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But also, if you're not a burger person, they're like one of the things that I think is kind of cool about the city and the region in general is you do have like that food variety in a way that you can regardless of your, you know, dietary preferences, you can find something. There's like, you know, there are vegan restaurants, there are vegetarian restaurants. There's an amazing steakhouse. I love Stefan's Steakhouse. Not sponsored, but amazing. Also great bars and places. One of my personal favorite, like, you know, DeLorean.
Yeah, the cocktail bar.
Cocktails.
It's very cool. It's like inspired by the DeLorean.
Yeah.
The car and the show. Yeah, it's really fun. Like 80s themed.
Oh yeah,
they
the entire
have a real thing going there.
I mean, they also have like those two or old school arcade machines, and I think they also have like, I don't know, is it like an old PlayStation? Is it like an Atari or something? But it really like, it's literally Back to the Future vibes.
Yeah.
I love it. And, you know, there's also like the bowling alley, or I guess Hollywood Bowl isn't just the bowling alley. There are like so many little things around the city that like you can do. Do you have any like funny, you know, stories from travelers, or any little like anecdotes that come to mind from the work?
Oh, I wish I did. I was actually trying to think about this, like if I could remember anything like that. But it's really hard. Again, they rarely come back to tell us about their experience and their trip. Sometimes we might get an email afterwards like, oh, I had really fun and thanks for this recommendation. It was really fun. But yeah, in general, it's just, thanks for the tip. Oh, this sounds amazing. And oh, we're going to try this. And yeah.
No, never the direct feedback. That's a bit of a bummer. But,
yeah, it usually is.
But hey, I think that probably means like they had a good time. Because if they had a bad time, you'd probably get like, what did you do to me? This was the worst recommendation ever. I hate you, you monsters. I will tell my entire friend group never to go here.
Yeah.
And then you ask them, is your name Karen by chance?
Yeah, but people too tend to give bad feedback easier than the good. So I think it's probably a good thing that we don't get that much feedback. Probably means that they enjoyed their time in the area.
Speaking of like enjoying one's time in the area, so we're, as I kind of mentioned, like in August we have a bunch of new degree students coming in, a bunch of exchange students coming in. Also there are, you know, people moving here with families, professors, yada yada yada. But let's focus for a moment on the students, because if one thing is true about 90% of students is we're broke. Yeah. And especially if you're an international student, you're pretty broke. But what is kind of like is there like a budget-friendly option of, you know, you've had a couple of weeks, too much stuff to do at school, which to be fair, you always got too much stuff to do. It's too cool. And in life in general, it's a never-ending, you know, run in the hamster wheel. So where can the hamster go cheaply? In this region?
Yeah, there's lots of things that I think you can do cheaply. So mentioned already a couple of times, the Harri Observation Tower, completely free, and something I recommend for everybody because it's also a great way to see like the surrounding area, like what the city looks like from above, and really like how much there is forest. Like if you're standing in the city center, it's hard to, I guess, kind of realize like how close all of the nature is. You can enjoy nature completely free. Like there's no payments. Like in some countries, for example, if you want to visit a national park, you have to pay to visit. Like there's an entry fee or something. National parks and all of the nature destinations in the area are completely free. There are lots of nature trails close to the city center as well, so you don't even have to take the bus to a national park if you don't want to, or if you want to save the money. One pretty cheap option with like a lot of cultural significance would be visiting one of our UNESCO World Heritage sites, the Petäjävesi Old Church. This is located in Petäjävesi municipality. This is like a old wooden church from the 1700s. And you can easily get there with like local public transport. So it's not expensive to get there, and the ticket to the church is like €9. So I would say that's a budget-friendly thing to do, and some culture, and the church itself is really beautiful. You could, many exchange students probably have a bike, so you can go on bike trips. You can do the route around the lake.
Oh, yeah.
Just like 13, 14 kilometers. Very nice, I think, very nice views. You could bike to Sauna, the islands, 16 kilometers south from Jyväskylä city center. The bike trip itself is very fun. I think I've done it myself a couple of times. And the islands themselves are really beautiful. Like there are bridges that take you to the 3 islands. There's Saunatsalo, Lehtisaari and Muuratsalo islands that you can go explore. There's also nature destinations, and there's one of the Alvar Aalto buildings, the Saunatsalo town hall.
Oh, yeah.
In there. The entry fee is not very expensive. I think it's like €10 or something like that. So if you're riding there with your bike, that's free. Entry ticket, €10. What else? We also have like ideas and lists on our website on like free things to do. And this is something that we also help with in our like chat or email if somebody has any questions. The perfect question for that, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Happens.
Yeah. Too excited.
No, but that's good. I mean, honestly, like when I see your level of excitement, I can kind of see like, maybe don't waste the money to go to Tampere or Helsinki. Like, by the time you spend the money to like, just for the train or the bus or walk.
yeah, maybe walking is not the best option, but yeah.
What is 100 kilometers?
Yeah.
You can do that in like a good 20 hours, I guess. I don't know. Depends how quick you are. Another kind of like firstly, I think cool thing is the Panda Factory.
The sweet factory. Yeah.
It's a nice little walk, and then you can treat yourself. Like, the walk is relatively scenic depending on the route that you take. And then you're like, okay, this chocolate, they should be like relatively fresh.
Yeah, definitely. So the factory is in Vaajakoski, and they have a small factory shop where you can get the local. They're famous for chocolate and licorice. So, and if you're a foreigner and you haven't tried licorice, then Panda licorice is definitely something that everybody should try, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's like pretty. As far as I know, like that's one of the few brands of like licorice, salmiakki, whatever that I knew of before coming to Finland, because it's like I think it's even like sold on Amazon in the States if I remember correctly.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Well, Jeff Bezos can fact check me on that one.
Okay.
When he isn't flying. But so you said people can find like a lot of this information online and whatever. So where are you guys? Where can we find you?
Yeah. So the website is visitjyvaskula.fi. The website is in 9 or 10 languages. So even if you're not fluent in English or Finnish, you're going to find a lot of information. The largest amount of information is in Finnish and English, but the other languages as well. We have the brochure that you can find hopefully basically anywhere in the city. That's at least our goal, that it's easy to find and easy to get. And then we have our tourist information services. So if anyone has any questions about traveling in the area or any experiences or how to get somewhere or anything, we're always happy to help them. So during the summer, you can visit the tourist office. And actually a lot of exchange students do that. We definitely see a peak in our customer flow in August, like late August, when the international students are arriving. And they're actually the best customers. They are so happy. They're so excited. They're like, yeah, I'm going to be here for half a year or a year and I want to experience everything. And what can I do? And those are, I really enjoy those encounters a lot because they are so open and they want to experience everything. And usually those... the customer service contacts, like the length of them differ. Sometimes it's just a couple of minutes. Sometimes it's half an hour that we're talking with someone. So usually the exchange students are the longer conversations. Yeah, it's very fun.
Well, hey, I just love it that you guys get into contact with people with like that level of enthusiasm, and I hope you're gonna have more those types of conversations, now starting in August. But hey, I think this is like kind of like the perfect point to like package this up and everything. Rinna, I really want to thank you for like taking the time out today to just like talk with with me directly here and like with the universe over there. I absolutely love your enthusiasm about this place. Like, honestly, just like hearing you talk about these different things, I'm like, I really got to do this, like, either for the first time or like, I really got to do this. Like, I've already done this like 7 times, but I got to do it the 8th. I got to make sure that I've done it at least like 100 times. And I think it's great when you can like bring your own passion into something and, translate it towards everybody. And I think that like opens up the region a little bit more. So thank you for that. And now you guys have already heard it, where you can find all the information about Visit Jyväskylä and the entire region. We're going to link everything in the program notes. If you guys want to hear more about JYU and, what it is to study here and these personal type stories, you can follow the JYU for You podcast. And for everybody wondering what to do over an extended weekend, what to do with your life, well, I think we've given you enough things. So go on, forth and research. Kiitos ja moikka. Cheers.